Okay. Oh, Sinadapi. It's Wellness Wednesday. Nistu Nidaniko Makoyo Sakoye. I just coming to you live from the Blackfeet Reservation. And this is where I live. I live way up in the mountains on a lake. Native Wellness Institute. We always try to come to you every Wednesday to bring positive, productive, proactive, and healing. Sometimes we cry. Let's see. I just feel like being joyful at this moment. But who knows? I could start crying. All right, so we welcome you to Wellness Wednesday. Native Wellness Institute, our mission in our life of our whole team, our executive director, Jalene Joseph, all of our board, Thosh, Jackie, Lavina, and we got a ride. There's a whole big team of trainers, Wade, oh my God, Lori, Jean Tagabon, Mark Harris, Dwight Francisco, Shailene Joseph, Josh Cocker. We just have so many of us. We just like to come to you every Wednesday to bring an uplifting message. And so today, I got up really early, and I just thought that I would talk about lateral kindness. And lateral kindness using a cultural response. Often, when we have challenges before us or, we're hit hard with things, we might react without thinking. React. And so what I'd like to talk about today is having a cultural response when there's been a death. A cultural response when there's been a suicide, that there's a cultural response when you have find out you're pregnant and you're not sure if you want to be. I find out somebody else is pregnant. And there's new life. All of that kind of when we're life on life's terms, when we meet life on life's terms, when there's a challenge, try a cultural response. And what does that mean? Our team went to Healing the Spirit Worldwide, which is in Vancouver last September. And our National Indian Health Board was present. A lot of their team, their executive director was one of the speeches, Stacy. But this today I was last night I laid out my clothes and it says culture heals, culture knows, and culture leads. So I just thought I'd wear it today to talk about cultural response. So what does that mean? How do you respond with culture? And foremost, there's many tools. I was just in a conversation with our executive director who in her, Jalene's a badass. But she's the badass in the cool, calm, collective manner. And she was just talking about tools of self-care, tools where we take care of ourselves, tools where we get grounded, tools where, when we're not sure quite what we should do in response to what's happening in our world, if it's a challenge, is that we rely upon these tools. And so then, that like right now, we're trying to get the best Wi-Fi connection. So I was just laughing to myself because I was out. I got a new war pony, and it has Wi-Fi. But then getting connected away from other sources, you have to drive a little way. I would say, should I do this in the truck? Or because I didn't usually, sometimes I go visit my mom on Wednesdays and I just do it, and they call it my studio, my mom's bedroom. But I lit a smudge and I said, hey, all the spirits, could you just help my Wi-Fi work good in my house? Because this is where I live. And, you know, just to share with you, this is a reclaiming. I've been living here 30 years in this log home. It's like a 80 by 40, mostly open. And that's a resiliency story on the Blackfeet tribe. You know, we have, I live on Lower St. Mary's Lake. They call it Lakes Inside because we used to do a lot of prayers here. The Blackfoot Confederacy and Scott B. Cunny did prayers here. So it was about 32, maybe 33 years ago. One of our trailblazers, her name was Sin Kip. And Sin was a trailblazer because she always believed in education. She believed in the cultural response was the language. A lot of her children are fluent speakers. A lot of her children, they always worked with in the immersion school. So Sin was on tribal council. So just to, you know, these are never like short stories. So when Sin was on tribal council, these 300 lots where I live, I'm on lot 34, they were leased to white people. Like, what? You know what? I mean, why do the white people get to live on our best pieces of land? Anyway, Sin Kip was on tribal council, and she brought it to the tribal council back then in between 1990 and 1994 that we should reclaim and we should take these 300 lots at, you know, the Glacier National Park, where we're below. I'm on a frozen lake that you can drink water out of this lake. It's so clean. The air is so clean. And so what Sin did was propose that we cancel all the leases of these white people and that we take back our land. Whew! We didn't know it was going to be a fight. Sin and the tribal council had to, these white people were wealthy and they got some lawyers and then they got more lawyers and it was fight, fight, fight. But guess what happened? It came down to the last moment, like it was approaching September 30th, and the court said, no way, this is a sovereign nation. This is a lease, a recreational lease that you have, and they have decided to abrogate it. So it's like, you Indians know, you ever been evicted? All Indians say, yeah, I was evicted. Might have been evicted from here, evicted from a relationship, evicted from town, evicted from house, evicted from Section 8. That's because we're Indian, because we can never be evicted from our tenacity and our resilience and who we are as badass Indians. So we can't be evicted from that. But anyway, the story is they gave all of the 300 non-native, I guess I should be nicer, non-native European. They were all Canadians. And I love Canadians because I'm half Canadian. Anyway, they had to move off. And some of them were so mad. I mean, like right here, just up the way, 4 of them burnt their cabins so no Indian would get their house, their cabin. And they had fire insurance, and so they could collect on so they burnt their own house so no Indian could get their house. So this is where I'm living, and you see I just had my nephews put a new roof on my house here, so I have a brand new roof. It's like a little cave. I just love it. I feel like when I'm here, I'm hibernating. I'm just like this wolf or this bear hibernating in my house here. But that story I'm sharing with you because it was a cultural response. I remember coming here with my mother, and we're right down is the lake. It's frozen right now. And her and I jumped in the water. Such a good memory. We were both swimming in Lower St. Mary's. We were swimming in the lake, and we looked up at my house, and there was a bald pita eagle all sitting on top of my house. And my mom started crying. She goes, "Well, Nellie," that's what she calls me. Nellie, she said, "that looks like a pretty good omen," because we had put a bid on this house. And I got to buy it. And it wasn't like you could have a mortgage, you had to have the cash. So we had a Bonnie and Clyde moment. Eh? What there another this is like these miracles. Mom had sold her house in California where we lived. Her and dad bought that house in 1972 for $32,000, and it's now on the market. It's $1 million and something. Our house that we grew up in, but Mom had sold that house because she wanted to move home. Our elders, you might get to a point, if you live in Seattle, New York, Los Angeles, wherever you live, you want to move home. And so Mom sold the house and we moved home. And this is what she said to all of us kids. She said, "If you want one of those cabins, let me buy it for you." And so that's what I did. Is she bought it. She bought the reclaiming. I mean, it's an outrageous. We got this cabin in this lot for this cabin for $38,000 in 1994, and then I just paid Mom back that money because you had to have the cash, and I've been living here ever since. And so I wanted to share that story with you because this National Indian Health Board, culture, and I just like to look at it. Culture heals, culture knows, and culture leads. That's the National Indian Health Board, and they have just a great staff. No matter what happens, they heal. No matter what happens, they advocate. No matter what happens, they fight ruthlessly for our sovereignty. No matter what happens, they fight for our water rights, our treaty rights. And no matter what happens, they fight for VAWA, that we have laws that protect our people. They fight for missing and murdered. They fight for disparities. They try to get us healthy from diabetes, from heart disease, from things like suicide. That National Indian Health Board just needs to be really uplifted for the things that they do. And so what happens is NWI and other organizations, we're sister programs. So we're always helping NIHB. NIHB is always helping Native Wellness Institute, as well as other groups. At the very beginning, just a little why we have such an important relationship with National Indian Health Board. Right before the pandemic was declared in 2020, there was an incredible search for almost 20 years with CDC, where they were looking at best practices for health and wellness and well-being. And they had narrowed it down to 53 best practices. And when they narrowed it down, it was pointed out to them that there was not Alaskan natives involved in those best practices, or tribes in the lower 48. So CDC, NIHB, and NWI was going to make sure that the native voice was heard. And so NWI was contracted, and I'm so honored that it was part of that contract, speaking to 150 tribes about best practices for health disparities and best practices. And it was all about culture. But that was, and you guys, I've shared this with you. We didn't know. I mean, that was when I downloaded the Zoom app, March 2020. Who would have known? What's a Zoom app? And then everybody else downloaded it, and we didn't know no better. We had a focus group for 2 days straight. 8 hours on April 7th and 8 hours on April 8th. We had this focus group and all the tribes contributed. And then we went ahead and had we realized Zoom fatigue. Some of us, I could just, and this is, Indian humor. I remember one of the gentlemen was working with Sakui and Crib and all the organizations in California, and he was trying to be on the Zoom, and the only quiet place he could get on the Zoom was to go in his little minivan. And I remember his kids knocking on the door, saying, Dad, because here they were not in school, and he was trying to do his work, and there was all kinds of challenges, but we got through it. And we found that just a summary, best practices is rites of passage. If you do rites of passage around cultural response, rites of passage with naming, rites of passage with transitions in life, rites of passage if you're coming out and you're two-spirit, rites of passage if you're in marriage, rites of passage, all of the rites of passage that we go through, that was one of the resiliencies. The more rites of passage that you have, the more you spiritually mature. And I want to just say, boom, it's like poof to you right now. Have you celebrated that you are alive after a pandemic? Have you really just gotten with your family or with yourself and just took yourself on a celebratory journey because you're still alive? And most of us, raise your hand, had COVID and we lived. We have vaccines. We know how to get healthy. And then we have grieving rites of passage, because we lost a lot of members. We lost a board member. We lost 67 Blackfeet here, like boom, 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 boom. Navajo Nation, last year they were counting, they lost 20,000. So those rites of passage of memorials, those rites of passage of legacy, how do we keep their legacy alive? All of that we're still healing from that. So today I just oh my gosh, and why do I feel so joyful? I'm searching my heart. There's just so many things. Intense gratitude, believing in our leadership here. Like all of our leadership have challenges, but they still push forward in a positive way. And I was just thinking, we have Everett Armstrong and Pat Armstrong, and I've been privileged. I sundanced with Patrick Armstrong with Buster Yellowkidney's bundle when he was just young. And I think about that because, and we ran and I would call them like marathons over. We ran from Sixikai down to this side. I remember running there at Eagle Staff, running with Pat, and now he's on our tribal council, because that's you have to look at the positive, productive, and proactive of your leaders. Hold them up. We're not all born perfect, and we're not born where we just know how to lead or how to do. We have to grow in increments of becoming spiritual leaders, of becoming diplomatic leaders, and becoming kind leaders. All of this, we grow into this. Yeah, Trevo. I don't want to look at the screen, but I love you, Trevo. That's one of my nephews. He's just a badass. No matter what I ask of this nephew, he helps me. He helps his auntie. So I would like to, this lateral kindness, be laterally kind kind and forgiving to your leadership. Be lateral, just hold them up. not a nitpicking and holding them down. When you're in elected leadership or you're in leadership of ceremonials, just you're a prayer warrior where all you do is pray for people. I was just, my other cherished nephews, Sheridan and Sheldon Grounds, they just lost their father. We just lost Rick Grounds. And I saw him post today that he has, his dad was praying. He was always praying. Our leadership that's always praying. And his dad's fingerprints were on it. He was missing his dad, but all his dad ever showed him was to be good to people and to take care of each other and to pray for each other. So be good to people. Pray for them. Take care of each other. And it was just, I saw that knowing him as a young boy, knowing him growing up, and then knowing even now as a man with his wife and his daughter and what he gives to our community. They're just giving, that lateral kindness. What do you give to your community? What do you give back? Give what you can, and it's not, out of pocket, or give what you can. Give your time, give your skill, give words of encouragement, to our people, because we're all in transformation and we get these challenges. Be good to people, uplift them. Tell them, God, what a good mom you are. What a good dad you are. What a good child you are. What a good son you are. What a good daughter you are. What a good grandpa you are. What a good grandma you are. Tell people that they are, because you put the synergy out there and you put that in them, and that's what they become. That's when they hear that, that's what they become. Try to make sure the words don't hurt. Hurt people. Make sure that your words don't hurt and slap people. I was just thinking I always think about my dad in boarding school. They gave him the message that he was a dirty Indian and a dumb Indian. So Dad used to have packages of white t-shirts, and he'd never like a spot on him. On his white t-shirt, if he dropped some coffee or he dropped a stain, he would change his t-shirt because he never wanted to appear by what they called him, a dirty Indian. So he would be clean. His clothes were ironed. We used to laugh. My mom used to iron everything. She ironed our t-shirts. She didn't iron our underwear. Just imagine if you had starch and you ironed your underwear. It would all be walking around like this with stiff starched underwear. We get these messages, we might say of less than, or we get judged because we look like this and we have this color skin that we might be less than. Well, let me tell you right now, you are not. You are great. You are smart. You are resilient. And that's what it means to be Indian. You're proactively in your culture. So these cultural responses, I just, since I saw Trevor's name, I just see my nephew singing for people, either in ceremony, or he's out singing at a round dance, or he's jumping on a drum with others. Singing, that's a cultural response. Singing our songs, often as possible. Singing, as those of you who are skilled to make your own songs, sing the songs, teach the songs. Hum the songs, learn the songs. Those of you who dance, we're getting all excited because, it was like 1 degree Fahrenheit at the beginning of the day, and I think it might have warmed up to 28. I thought maybe if it warms up, I'll go do the power hour out in the snow. I thought that wouldn't be very smart. I'd be all frozen, icicles hanging out of my. And if I cry, I would have had frozen tears. Can you imagine all these frozen tears because they're trying to do a power hour out in the the cold temperatures? Anyway, so think about dancing. One of the things that we're getting excited about is there's a kickoff of a big powwow at Kyo at the University of Montana. And you're all invited. It's right around April 19th and 20th. But there's all kinds of chicken dance specials. There's all kinds of memorial specials. Last year, they were amazing. They had a switch dance, recognizing and giving encouragement to gender fluid, non-binary brothers and sisters. They had a switch dance. Oh, there was all kind. So this cultural response, dance. Make new things for your outfit. If you don't, bring a shawl. Just start with what you have. Come and dance. And those of you, help people make their outfit. Their beaded moccasins, their beaded hair ties, their belts that they're going to wear while they're dancing. My little relative, Hadley, Iron Pipe Fitzgerald. She's been jingle dress dancing she was like 6 and 7 years old. She wanted to Indian dance, and now she has outfits. And you should see the smile on her face when she gets out there. And, ching, 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 how little girls ching, ching, ching there when they're jingle dress dancing. She's just so beautiful. So that cultural response, singing, dancing, praying, giving words of encouragement, lifting people up. And so I was just, one of the things, I guess, Native Wilderness Institute, we're always connecting people. We're always bringing people together because it's the teachings of our ancestors we have these fancy words, collaboration, network, and all of these synchronicities. But what it is bringing kinship to kinship. And that means, that doesn't mean you should marry your cousin. Do not marry your cousin. Remember, Auntie told you, and Grandma, don't marry your cousin. But we're bringing people together in a really healthy, productive way. So one of the, just to share with you, I've been privileged to kind of witness many players, many trailblazers coming together to transfer a stand-up headdress to Lily Gladstone. A stand-up headdress will be transferred to her March 26th in Browning, Montana at our All Events Center. It's called the Arbor. It's our brand new Arbor. But we're bringing the whole Blackfoot Confederacy together. Thank you, Carol Mason. Thank you, Siksikai. Thank you, Kainai leaders. Thank you, Abutsapikani Brockett, and thank you, Amskapi Pikani, because they're working it out to all come together to transfer her and to acknowledge that she's Blackfoot. If you're in your DNA, we're in her DNA. Her father Howard is Blackfeet. She is Blackfeet. And they're acknowledging her because not only for winning the Golden Globes, because when she got up there with that globe, she said to every res kid, to every urban kid, she recognized all of us. And now each time she gets up, she speaks collectively. She shows her vulnerability. She shows her heart as a Native woman reaching out, Lily Gladstone. And shoot, my bet is on she's going to get the Oscar on Sunday. And if for some reason she doesn't get the Oscar on Sunday, we already gave her an Oscar. We Indian country, we global. Everybody in Canada is coming down. They're taking the day off to come and see Lily transferred a stand-up headdress. We were hoping Cindy Woodhouse might even make an appearance. She's the female chief of AFN. Where other tribes, we were over at OMAC. We're inviting some of the leaders there and the people. We were over in Portland. We were up in Alaska. There's just anyone, you know, like when the Indians, sheesh, how many Indians can you stuff in the car? If you got gas, how many Indians can you stuff in the car and drive on over to Browning, Montana? It starts at 10 o'clock. And then one of the things is like our immersion schools and our elementary, they're going to do the prayers and the songs because they're in the language. So we have our innocence praying. And then there's going to be words of encouragement from chiefs, female and male, and dignitaries. And then there's going to be Lily herself is going to speak. There'll be the transfer. And they'll tell you, you know, they're not going to record and video sacred things, but they'll tell you, hey, shut off your iPhone. Yeah, you sneaky over there. You know how Indians. There was this one white guy used to sneak around trying to take videos of him. Anyway, I won't go there. But they're also, I was just pray for us because the celebration of Lily, it culminates with an ending of a meal. Whoo! 5,000 bologna sandwich. Eh? How do you know, just that coordination Indians can feed. And, you know, if we can always rip that fry bread in half. We always make do, but that protocol of feeding everybody. The greatest gift you can give to anyone is to feed them and to cook for them. So, you know, my hat's off to the Blackfeet Tribal Council. My hat's off to all of our elected leaders. But, you know, there was also, I see the happiness in the grandmas and the grandpas who aren't as mobile. They're all making a plan to come. You know, there's, you know, even say prayers for Lily's dad, Howard. He hasn't been in the best of health, but he's coming. Lily's mom, Betty, she's coming. And hey, guess what? We heard Lily's boyfriend's gonna come too. So come and meet him. And all of the Gladstone, Alex Gladstone, Memory Gladstone, the twins Gladstone, Mariah Gladstone, all of the Gladstones, and they're all members of Red Crow, eh? And just they're all coming together, so we're honoring, a clan, a kinship of Gladstones there, and we're holding a female up. We hold a lot of males up, but we're holding a female up, and we're giving her honor. So you're all invited. Maybe that's, you know, gosh, I'm just so joyful that all of our people are coming together without any immature, childish behavior. There probably be one or two. You know, when you got Indians, your one childish, immature relative always shows up, right? At the moment that you're like, you know, and to be cordial, to be kind, lateral kindness. So, sober up. Hey, before you come and watch Lily get her transfer. Hey, anyway, I always say the prayers that there's just the dignity, the civility, the honor, where we can all smile and see each other. I heard that a lot of the immersion language people up at the elementary at Kainai, they're going to take the day off and come down to watch Lily be transferred. I heard Ramona Bighead and some of the Kainai education staff, they're all going to take the day off and come down to watch Lily be transferred, her stand-up headdress. I heard that many people, even some of our elders we have living in Missoula, they're getting extra gas money and they're going to come over. There's just this positive movement. It's kind of like, remember when Barack Obama won as president? We all came together. And when it was something of iconic magnitude happens, come together and be laterally kind. So, I was just thinking, wow, there'll probably be gift giving. Bring stuff. What can you give to your relatives that show up? What can you not only say words, what kind of extra gas money can you give? I just, not only just this lateral kindness, maybe taking off, not your best coat, your second best coat and give it to them. Eh? Give them all your Pendleton coats, eh? Anyway, think about, take off, don't take off your best necklace, your second best necklace, and give it away. Don't take off your best earrings, your second best earrings, and give it away. Give away this blanket. Hey, next thing, where that kind of lateral kindness. How do we that cultural response? That's what we need to do in 2024 as we get, March 20th, that it marks, the equinox and the solstice are beautiful times. Their transformation into spring. Boy, I'll tell you, I guess in some places, someone was telling me, they were saying in Northern California that the winds were 150, 190 miles. I can't say but I've been in 160 mile an hour winds. It's like a tornado of snow and blizzard. But raise your hand if you're ready to see a blade of green grass growing. Yay! A blade. That's in our culture. We always say, we count how many winters we have survived. That, if you're 30, you have 30 winters. If you're 40, 40 winters. If you're 60, 60 winters. But we always say, I'll see you in the new year. And the new year is when we see that first little baby blade of green grass come out of the ground. And that signifies boom, and then there's thunder, and then when our bundle holders hear thunder, we all get painted. We have bundle openings, and we have celebration. We have and then for our relatives who love Easter, raise your hand. So just Easter, if that's the way that you say, oh God, the best thing that ever happens here is hiding the eggs and having children find them. All the children's game, anything that brings joy to children is good. So just right now, everybody, you're invited to Kyo. And Kyo is in Missoula, Montana. And one of the beautiful things is there was an endowment given to the university on behalf of Earl Old Person. And so there's all this festivity as long to remember, because Earl, all his life, he would MC at Kyo Powwow. And Earl we no longer have, but you know what? We have Earl Old Person's legacy. And that's culture. Earl Old Person's legacy is he always had a history story. He always had a song, and he was like a jukebox. You could just press, green wood burner song. You could, that was Sundance song. But his legacy is to be good to each other. His legacy is to dress up. He would always be dressed up as an Indian. And he would always come in with kindness and good words. He was just one of those trailblazers globally. So there'll be a lot of tribute to Earl Old Person at Kyo. So you're invited to that. Again, that's in April. And then you're invited to, of course, not only with that kicks off, it just like kicks off Remember in May, and we're just looking ahead, and May 5th, around the world is a celebration to stop the violence against women. Rhonda, here, well, I won't give away their surprise, but they're going to be doing something May 5th on our reservation, and across the nation, May 5th is the day that we all wear red. It's the day that we say, no more silence. We all wear red. It's the day that we take a red hand and paint our face. And we say, no more stolen sisters. No more stolen relatives. It's the day that we begin to turn that around. Is that it's the day that we acknowledge and we heal and we all wear red. So the tribal council here just gave some office space, and so we're going to have a big to-do. So you're invited to that on the Blackfeet Reservation May 5th. We begin to we're excited, and again we just invite you here because there's 85 tribes who have a herd of buffalo. But our days of Eni, which means buffalo, we have the teaching of the buffalo. That usually happens around May 25th and sometimes into June. But look out for that notice. I was like, whoa, it's a beautiful time to celebrate and a beautiful time to be together. Native Wellness Institute. Now, again, instead of being competitive, Native Wellness Institute is coordinating with White Bison, Qatari, Koyas, is coordinating with Native Dads Network, Mike Duncan, Albert Titman, Mary Hummingbird, is coordinating with El Pooley's Native Fatherhood and Families Association, NAFA, and is coordinating this year with the American Cancer Foundation with Coco and Lori Newbreast. We're all coming together for healing together on Bainbridge in June. So you're welcome to that. There's just I just heard I was listening to every Tuesday morning. We listen to Mike Duncan, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Mike said they're going to head down they're making a mural now. They're making a cultural response mural. The young children they've got a week to finish painting this mural about the strength of the culture. Then they're heading down to Pachanga. They're going to do a Boys with Braids again. There's, I'm just, in my mind is just, I think that's why I'm so joyful. We're modeling healing. We're modeling this cultural response in every arena. And it's working. People are forgiving. People are challenging each other to get along. People are making friends, reconnecting. It's happening. And so Native Wellness Institute, we come every Wednesday. I was just reminded, 4 years ago, we didn't know we were going to be pushed into a pandemic. And here we are coming out. So it's time that we begin to set goals, set intentions for ourselves to bring wellness to ourselves. So these remaining minutes, let's talk about some self-care. That's why I sit here in my home, and I'm going to take a little snow walk when I'm done here. Being out on the land is self-care. I have birds eating. I put bird food out here. I can sit and watch birds eat. I can hear birds sing. I see the blue sky, the beautiful blue sky. Self-care, being with nature. Gene Tagabon, my brother, the other uncle, your other uncle. Gene is always like, take off your shoes. Not in the snow, but take off your shoes and walk on the ground. Self-care. Our team is headed to Hawaii. I always I like how they say it. We're going to be doing trauma-informed and healing-informed training on Oahu. So we'll be heading over there. Most of us are flying in on the 17th. Guess what? I'm going to do some self-care. I'm going to fly over there on the 14th. And I'm not going to fly back till 10 days later. Yeah, I have to work with the team 3 days. But you know what? I'm not going to do a dang thing. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to wiggle my toes in the water. And I might swim with some turtles. Sheesh, might even go on a date. Hey, I'm not exposing everything. Hey. But I'm just going to do some self-care. And I was saying to myself, I'm going to eat really healthy food. I'm going to eat real pineapples. And I'm going to sleep good. And if I feel like napping, I'm going to nap. I think I'm going to journal some. I'm going to write some. I'm not going to look at my emails. Might take a little peek. But I don't think I'm going to look at my emails. I don't think I'm going to look at all the messages of people who want something. I'm just going to say, no, I'm going to triage. And then when you're in self-care, triage your energy for you. Triage your energy to drink more water. Triage your energy to eat good food. Triage your energy to dance, to sing. Triage your energy. And you know, I don't have a good singing voice, but just sing. Put on your happy music. My happy music is 60s and 70s and Soul Town. But I've been listening to the Elvis channel because it reminds me of my mother. We grew up listening to Elvis sing gospel. So put on your happy music, self-care. And then I was just looking the things like, get your, let's say Godzilla eyebrows need to be waxed. Nails need to be done. And then, just do all of the things of self-care in your mind, body, and spirit. Sometimes, they say just light the smudge. The smudge will take care of everything. The medicine, the sweetgrass, the sage, the cedar. Just light the smudge. And let it do the self-care. We always say make hearts like this. When you're doing self-care, the heart's like this. Think about what makes your heart feel good. What makes your heart blossom. Do something, do that date, be with your mate, your potential mate. Reignite the love. And what makes your heart feel good? Hang around the people who lift you up and encourage you and say, you deserve that. Take the heart. What else in your, I was just, certain things on TV that I just get time to watch. There's a new Michonne and and Rick show, but I just love it because they're such badasses. So I just take that heart, and so I'm recording it, and I thought, I'm just gonna eat so good. And then Sunday, so Sunday, I just love this heart thing. Is my mother? I said, Mom, I'm gonna come and let's watch the Oscars together. I haven't got to watch the Oscars with my mother and my sister and might be some other family members. And so then what does Mom say? Mom said, should we have chicken fried steak? And I go, Mom, they have good chicken fried steak to go from the casino. You don't have to cook if you don't want to. But yeah, let's have chicken fried steak. So those of you who are going to watch the Oscars and watch Lily Gladstone get an Oscar. I'm so excited. excited for her. So those, make a plan with your family. Make a plan with how you're going to watch the Oscars, a good meal. You know, make a plan that you're wearing something cozy or dress up. I was like, God, if Land O'Lakes, if you're watching this, or George, or I think of my two-spirit buddies, dress up and watch the Oscars. Dress up in something elegant and watch the Oscars. I just like how when you put that heart, the hearts go shooting out. Make it a good time coming this weekend. Make it a good time, and that it's celebratory. It's celebratory that a Native American woman has reached these heights in what could be called, and I don't want to judge them, but they always give it to white people. About time you give it to some people of color and a Native American woman. So get your good food. Get your family surrounded you. And they probably have good commercials, but get up and dance. Even if it's in your pajamas or, wow, I liked it. Land O'Lakes, probably be something shimmery and a big old crown that's all gold and shimmery. So I just like these hearts jump out right there. That is so cool. So, hey, Lance. Oh, my other nephew. Lance, I'm going to come visit you guys, I think, towards the end of April. So look out. I'm going to drive my war pony. I'm going to go on a little road trip and come visit you. So let your mom know. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Remember the self-care. You know, I was trying to think, what is the bottom line on self-care? It's like self-love. It's not like not like a hedonistic kind of thing, but love yourself, love your body, because this is the only body you get. You can't move out and move into another body, even though some people get all these different parts. But think about just being good to, you know, even as my body gets older. Shoot, I'll be turning 68 in April, and it's okay. You get older. I just say, no matter what I look like, I just say, thank you. Tell your body, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for that heart again, that good heart beating. Thank you. Thank your pancreas. Thank your kidneys. Thank your liver. Thank your legs for walking around. Thank your arms for, you know, all of that self-love. I hope that message gets through to you today, because I just wanted to share Native Wellness Institute. You can go to YouTube and type in Native Wellness Institute, and we have hundreds and hundreds of Power Hour, and you can see the rest of our team. But every Wednesday, we call it Wellness Wednesday. We come here to uplift you. We come here to give you that positive, proactive thinking instead of stinking thinking. We give that to you today. So in a way, I don't want to leave you guys, but I'm going to go chill out, because I'm going to meet with Mark Harris, our Black Indian facilitator, half Choctaw, half African American, and Dwight Francisco, our two-spirited facilitator. We always debrief, but I'm going to go take a break. And again, come on out to Browning, Montana, March 26th. You're invited. The Badass Auntie invites you. And Kitsikakaumim, I love and I cherish you. So until next Wednesday, we'll see you later.